In a world where Hollywood scandals unfold every other day, the evolving standoff between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has become the industry's most riveting tale. On the surface, it looks like a standard legal dispute, a workplace complaint followed by a defamation countersuit. But there's more lurking beneath this high-stakes conflict. From the clash of personal beliefs to a controversial Hollywood Reporter article, the feud has snowballed into something far bigger than anyone expected. And if you think the lawsuits are the only shocking part, just wait. It all began in December when Blake Lively filed a complaint with the California Civil Rights Authorities. Her accusations painted a troubling picture. She claimed Justin Baldoni not only harassed her but orchestrated a smear campaign behind the scenes, all while they were working together on the film adaptation of It Ends With Us. Justin vehemently denied the allegations. In response, he launched a staggering $400 million countersuit aimed at Blake, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and her publicist Leslie Sloan, insisting that they were masterminding a defamation campaign to tarnish his reputation. The legal fireworks were enough to capture the public's attention. But then came another development. The case was officially set for trial in March 2026. Immediately, people realized this conflict wouldn't just vanish or settle quietly. Instead, it became the catalyst for wider conversations about Hollywood culture, personal boundaries, and even religious misunderstandings. As soon as Blake's complaint surfaced, it gained traction online. But the situation soon morphed from a standard Hollywood legal tussle into something far more extensive. You see, both sides are well connected and determined to protect their reputations at any cost. That alone might lead to heated accusations in the media. What nobody expected was how quickly the conversation would shift toward faith, workplace norms, and the way star power can influence perceptions. 1 minute, headlines were asking if Justin's alleged actions crossed professional lines. The next minute, they were speculating about how his personal beliefs could have affected his interactions on set. This swirl of conflicting stories, incomplete statements, and rumor-fueled commentary set the stage for the Hollywood Reporter's explosive cover story, one that would spin the ongoing drama into a new realm of controversy. When the Hollywood Reporter decided to put Blake and Justin on its cover, people assumed it would be yet another standard breakdown of a high-profile Hollywood lawsuit. Instead, readers were greeted by a startling illustration of Blake essentially launching a slingshot at Justin. Immediately, fans and critics alike voiced outrage online. Page 6 soon quoted a spokesperson for Blake who condemned the cover as offensive and sexist, arguing that it portrayed Blake as the aggressor despite her position as the initial complainant. That single image, some argued, reinforced the perception that female complainants in Hollywood often get painted as troublemakers or even liars when they speak up about inappropriate behavior. As if the cover art wasn't controversial enough, the accompanying article dove deep into Justin's background and beliefs, namely his relationship with the Baha'i faith. It even touched on rumored friction within the cast of It Ends With Us and suggested that some of these tensions might stem, at least in part, from Justin's personal approach to leadership and communication. One of the biggest surprise elements in the Hollywood Reporter piece was the attention paid to Justin Baldoni's Baha'i faith. For years, Justin had been open about practicing a religion that prioritizes unity, equality, and spiritual reflection. But the article claimed these beliefs, especially group prayers, embracing co-workers with hugs, and encouraging personal sharing, could feel uncomfortable on a modern Hollywood set, which in the post-Me Too era has grown more cautious and regulated. From the outside, it might appear harmless, even well-intentioned. However, the article suggested that some colleagues felt their personal boundaries were being tested or overlooked. Adding fuel to the fire, the article initially mentioned that author Colleen Hoover was also Baha'i, only to later correct itself, revealing that rumor was false. She wasn't part of the faith and hadn't chosen Justin for the film because of any religious bond. Instead, the literary agent facilitated the deal based purely on professional factors. This wasn't the only detail that changed. Readers who returned to the article after its initial publication noticed entire portions had been edited without the standard disclaimers about post-publication modifications. With confusion mounting online, The Hollywood Reporter eventually acknowledged what they described as a technical glitch, which had reverted certain paragraphs to earlier drafts. To onlookers, though, this messy back and forth only deepened the sense that the conflict had grown chaotic, both behind the scenes and in the court of public opinion. The troubles weren't confined to the leading duo. According to sources, comedic actress Jenny Slate, who had a smaller role in It Ends With Us, also encountered tension with one of Justin's production partners, Keith, over housing arrangements during filming. Although the specifics varied in each version of the Hollywood Reporter's article, the gist was that Jenny felt uncomfortable with the language he used when offering to cover her lost security deposit, especially his emphasis on motherhood and sanctity. A rumor quickly circulated that Jenny filed a formal complaint with Sony, the film's distributor. Then, the text changed. Suddenly, it said Sony merely became aware of the complaint. Finally, the Hollywood Reporter posted a third update, clarifying the entire fiasco. This confusion fueled speculation that more people, beyond Blake, were uncomfortable with the environment on set. For many observers, it raised questions about whether these events signaled a cultural or spiritual gap between Justin's personal approach and Hollywood's new boundaries around power dynamics and respect in the workplace. Amid all this public scrutiny, Blake Lively's legal team took a significant step. They filed for a more comprehensive protection order regarding the ongoing litigation. Their argument was that highly sensitive information, ranging from personal matters to behind-the-scenes communications, could easily leak, threatening not only the privacy of those involved, but potentially skewing the outcome of the trial. Attorneys for Blake and Ryan Reynolds contended that if these confidential materials ended up online, the broader commentary might intimidate witnesses or shape public opinion. In a case already supercharged by star power and tabloid headlines, they're understandably cautious about tainting the future jury pool. As the letter stated, releasing private details into an environment where everyone is watching might risk everything from personal safety threats to compromised testimony. Yet, even as lawyers fight to keep essential information behind closed doors, other parties are making moves of their own, driving the spotlight back onto the heart of the controversy. Although his name has popped up frequently in the lawsuit, Ryan Reynolds has, until now, remained relatively quiet about the specifics. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Ryan has been making phone calls to industry friends and connections, presumably drumming up solidarity for Blake and her claims against Justin. Some see this as a natural reaction, supporting one's spouse. Others question whether his influence might inadvertently amplify the drama. Meanwhile, Blake's publicist, Leslie Sloan, who found herself included in Justin's defamation lawsuit, is moving to remove her name from the case entirely. In a recent motion filed with a New York federal court, her legal team argued she was entangled in the suit purely to distract from Blake's accusations. This smoke and mirrors argument asserts that Justin targeted Leslie in an attempt to deflect attention from the crux of Blake's complaint. If a judge agrees, Leslie's involvement could be severed, potentially altering the entire dynamic of the countersuit. All these strategic maneuvers by big-name players are fueling the speculation that by the time this goes to trial, new alliances, fresh evidence, and further controversies might completely change how we see the case. At its core, this dispute highlights the complicated intersection of religion, workplace norms, personal boundaries, and the power of media framing. From the outside, it's easy to look at the sensational headlines, like huge countersuits or magazine covers that reduce everything to a cartoonish showdown, and forget the human element. But for the people living this saga, the consequences are very real. Every day, new statements emerge, new interviews surface, and outlets scramble to correct errors or clarify half-reported facts. This environment shows just how high the stakes are. With massive reputations, serious money, and personal well-being on the line, neither side can afford to lose the public narrative. And that's all before we even consider the actual trial scheduled for 2026, which might still be years away, but could reshape the story's final outcome. In the end, the legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has evolved into a sprawling saga of rumors, allegations, and endless debate. What started as a harassment complaint is now a multifaceted conflict involving alleged workplace misconduct, faith-based practices, frantic media coverage, and the potential impact on everyone from A-list spouses to comedic co-stars. The real question remains, will the trial reveal hidden truths that either confirm or debunk the speculation swirling around the internet? Or will the push for confidentiality keep the public in the dark until the moment a judge and jury finally decide who's in the right? One thing is certain. While Hollywood often moves on from controversies at breakneck speed, this particular story seems poised to stay in the spotlight, both for what it says about personal accountability among the famous and for how drastically a few rumors can ignite a media firestorm. Where the situation goes from here might surprise all of us, but with so many high-profile players involved, the next developments could very well shift the conversation yet again. Either way, this is more than just one more lawsuit in Tinseltown. It's an unfolding battle that challenges how the entertainment industry reconciles individual faith, freedom of expression, and the rights of those who step forward to speak their truth. And until the final gavel lands, it's anyone's guess what might be exposed next.